I have a story. Turn the television off for copyright, or at least pause it. Or not pause it, but hit the volume, the mute button on the side for copyright purposes. Then I get off copyright. I got a story to tell you. Okay, so I go to Boomer Jack's, and the guy looks at me and says, "Oh, well, somebody already came by and picked up the order." So I'm sitting there at Boomer Jack's. Yeah, it's like a burger place, like a burger joint. It's like a food place, you know, where you pick up food. So I tell the guy, I say, well, who picked it up? Because I can show him the app, and I'm showing him the app. You know, my name's on it, the customer's name and everything. Everything is. Somebody came and picked it up. So I call the customer, you know, from the store, from Boomer Jack's. I'm on the phone, the customer, her name was Charisma. The lady's name that ordered it. She's like, no, nobody's brought the food. So I get some more information. I go up to the front where the host is and I say, where's the order? Well, somebody picked it up. Well, the lady tells me, Charisma tells me on the phone, I didn't get the whole conversation, but she tells me it was, that she ordered it like, or no, they tell me, that's right. The host people, you know, the host, they tell me that it was ordered at 1 o'clock. That the order went through at 1 o'clock. So I called it was like almost 3 or 4 o'clock. Like 2 hours later or something. And I'm just not getting on my phone, you know, on the app. So I call the lady and I say, well, did you receive the order? Did you receive the food? And she says, no. I think I know what's going on. This is my theory. So the lady, the customer, Charisma, she's taking either a screenshot on her end on the Uber Eats Postmate app kind of thing, right? Whatever it was. I guess it was, let's just say it was Postmates, okay? She's taking a screenshot of it and sending it to like a friend or something. Then that friend's going in and showing that screenshot, that it shows her name and the restaurant, and that he wants to pick up the food. So they're skimming. So I get mad at the manager because I think the manager probably knows, or somebody knows. And the manager goes and gets the owner, and the owner comes up to me and starts telling me, well, we're not going to make the order. I say, well, I already called the customer. I had the customer on speakerphone. So they haven't even received it. You need to make the order. Someone came in and stole it. Someone stole the order. The manager goes, so what? What do you want me to do about it? Blah, blah. So since he's allowing it to happen and I had to drive way over there, I called him a thief because he's taking up my time. So I said, you're a thief, for taking my time. Because my time costs money.
Yeah, sure.
And he's going, oh, get out, never come back, And I shouldn't have done that. I mean, obviously it was a hacker. It was stolen. But it wasn't his fault. But I called him a thief because I wanted to call somebody a thief. He got mad and told me to, get lost. What is your name? You're stealing. That's a form of stealing. What is your name? You are a thief. You're stealing. You're a thief. What's your name, Mike? Yes, I have your address right here. They're stealing. The manager that I was speaking to at Boomer's Jack, he actually ate the order. So when something like that happens with Uber Eats or Postmates or whatever, what they can do is a person or a friend will take a screenshot or a photo of their order and send it to their friend to pick it up themselves. Okay, that's a way they can get usually 1 or 2 free meals. Once a company figures out what's going on, then they won't have the privilege of using that particular app anymore. So there are hackers out there that will go in, pretend like that's their meal, and they eat it, or they give it away, or they give it to the person they're in cahoots with so they can get a free meal. There's only so many times that they can do that until the app starts to figure it out, and then they lose the privilege of using that particular app, right? It's not really the restaurant's fault, but they need to have better security. That was our old house. It looked like they repainted it. Can't tell what they did to it. Looks like it was repainted or something. The pond's still there. Can't really see it from here. Good to go. Good to go. Good to go. What'd he say? He said good to go. Good to go. Good to go. So Adam the Woo doesn't talk about his theater and film education. So he studied theater arts, and Adam the Woo also studied film and media in college. I studied theater arts, and I learned film and media on my own. So it was a do-it-yourself film and media, but I did go to college for theater arts. And I used to take this road every day, well, almost every day, from Denton, that says Denton right there if you squint real hard, all the way to Fort Worth. And I had a girlfriend that lived in Fort Worth who was an actress that studied at AMDA in New York. If you don't know what that means, look it up. It's a drama school in New York called AMDA, American Music Drama Associate, whatever. It's basically like, it's not too far from NYU. Anyway, she lived in Fort Worth and was a waitress and had a kid. And I used to drive to Denton every day to study theater arts, to do plays, hang out with people that had like studied with Grotowski and all this other stuff. So I have a big theater arts background, education. But I have no formal education in film and media. I learned that all on my own. So everything you're watching, everything that's going on, I'm learning on my own. I was never taught by anybody. Well, my cousin had some film and media. My cousin studied film and media at Denton, and he runs a television station out in Washington, or actually, I think it's Olympia in Washington, not too far from Seattle, but basically Olympia, right? And he studied film and media here. I studied theater arts. So everything that I've learned on my own when it comes to film and media. It includes editing, sound, all that, everything. I learned it all on my own. Now, I did study a little bit from YouTube. I'm right now in Denton city limits, so I'm in the city limits of Denton. I learned a little bit from YouTube, and I've read some books partially on film and media, and I've done some storyboards, and I've written many screenplays. So I have like my own education in film and media. Theater arts, I know all about it. Shakespeare, everything, the whole method, actor studio, all that stuff. I understand theater arts and acting and film. I know where that's coming from. I know the psychology of it far better than Adam. But Adam probably knows and understands film and media probably a little bit better, right? So he studied it like in California and things like that. Plus he's been in Hollywood. I think he lived in Hollywood for 2 years. I'll give that to him. But when it comes down to acting and stuff like that, a lot of people don't even realize that I am acting. But most of this just is, I'm just acting. Like it's a character. Cole Spivey is kind of a character that I'm playing. I just happen to use my real name. But it's not really me. It's not all of this stuff is just something I'm kind of creating this character that's really into Adam the Woo. I mean, I really don't know anything about vloggers. I like Fellini movies and Martin Scorsese and stuff like that. I'm really into like real cinema and film and stuff. I see these vloggers, I'm like, what are they doing? But I realize that they're making money and they're independent and they're doing it. So the Please Subscribe show is kind of a command in a way of saying, well, if you're going to watch this, at least subscribe. You don't have to give me a lot of money, my PayPal. You don't have to, ask for my, or ask me if I'm going to create a Patreon and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to ask about any of that, because I'm probably not going to create a Patreon. And if you want to donate to my PayPal, I'm not going to stop you. If anybody loves film and media and wants to see me go to Walt Disney World, they can put a couple $1,000s in my PayPal. I'll be there next couple of days or whatever. But I'm not asking you to do that. The most important thing I'm asking you to do is just to subscribe. And if you want to watch it, you can. You're just going to be watching a guy dropping off food different places. I might get in a tussle here and then over something stupid. I don't know what it may be. And I may talk about restaurants and movies and Fellini. I say Fellini would be proud, because I like Fellini because he was auteur. He made his own decisions. And he did it his own way. He didn't listen to other filmmakers. So what I'm trying to say is I'm independent. If you don't like what I do, that's fine. That's fine. That's your prerogative, like the song says. It's your prerogative. You may think that I'm a horrible person, and other people may think of me as a hero. It's whatever you want. And I've got a lot of negative feedback on YouTube. And that's fine. That's fine. Because some people have actually said that that Linda and I are their go-to show. Oh, by the way, that's a reminder. I got to go do something, so I put a reminder up there usually. That's why that's up there. It's to remind me to do something, okay? I'm just trying to be real. What I'm really trying to do overall is I'm trying to just show you my life in a real way, okay? Why? Because, well, let's say you're at a 7-Eleven and you don't know how to work the loyalty points or whatever, and you can't figure it out. Well, you know, if you go and you ask for help, then you get a discount. You get to save money or whatever, you know? So I try to reveal these things to people because, for one thing, it's a real struggle in my life. At some 7-Elevens, I can actually get discounted, 10 cents gas. At other 7-Elevens, I can't, and it makes me mad. It frustrates me. And I want you to understand that I'm sincerely frustrated. I was taught at the Actor Studio to be honest. That was our most important thing that we wanted. We wanted honesty, right? We wanted to be honest, right? When Marilyn Monroe went there, they told her to remove her makeup, to cut the voice, and to stop being dishonest, to stop playing the clown, and to play Marilyn Monroe. And she learned from the Actor Studio to just be herself. That was powerful enough. It was powerful enough to just be yourself and just to tell the story. You didn't have to do a whole lot more. I like how U.N.T right here, how they have these wind things. What are they really called? Let's see, wind. It's for, like, there's wind energy, solar energy. Turbines. They're turbines. They're turbines. They're wind turbines. Takes me a little minute to get it, all right? And then you can see the flag, the U.N.T flag right here, which is green. So this is where I graduated. I learned theater arts here. But I also learned it at Texas Wesleyan, which is down the way in Fort Worth. It's way on the other side of town, all the way in Fort Worth. That's where I started. I started at Texas Wesleyan. That's where I started acting training. And then I continued to study theater arts, especially in direction, here at U.N.T. And yes, it is true that my acting teacher told me to quit. But she said I was a good director. And film, the medium is direction. So she says, you're a really, she told me, she said, you're a really good, I think she said I was a good film actor, but she said, you're a really good director. You're a really good theater arts director. So she trained me and to be a director at theater arts. Now, I've also trained with a mime artist. He said I was a wonderful mime. And I've trained with some other acting coaches that said I was a wonderful actor. So some people will think you're great. And then some people will think you're lousy. But I continue to act anyway, regardless of whatever anyone says to me. I don't care. But it's not all about acting. It's also about directing and writing and a bunch of other stuff. So if someone thinks you're a really lousy actor, you always can write and direct. You can always, do all these other mediums that you want. I personally have an opinion about actors. I think we're all actors, and I think we're all great actors. I think every single one of us is a great actor. There's a great actor in everyone. It doesn't take a genius. There's this little symbol right there. You can see it right here. It says Denton, North Texas, and that says Mean Green. That's why I wear green. But regardless, I think if you want to be an actor, then you're a great actor. That want will make you a great actor. Eventually, you will succeed. And I never deter anyone. I got a story about this too. One last story. I never deter anyone about acting. Danny DeVito, he lived somewhere up north. I don't know, somewhere New York, somewhere, I don't know. I don't know where Danny DeVito, I don't know where he lived. I just know about something that happened to Danny DeVito. When Danny DeVito was starting off, it's my favorite story about acting. He did this community theater play somewhere in New York or close to New York, or it doesn't really matter where he did it, okay? But Danny DeVito did a play. And a great producer in New York went in there and saw the play and said, wow, that was a wonderful play. Danny DeVito was great. I'm going to call him to my office, is what the producer said. So Danny DeVito got a call from one of the great producers or talent agents in New York. They're still producers too. A talent agent. And the talent agent sat Danny DeVito down in this room and said, Danny DeVito, I'm a great talent agent. I'm one of the best talent agents in New York City. And I know all the great actors. I've made everybody make it. And I saw your play and I thought it was wonderful. I thought you did great, Danny DeVito, and thank you so much for showing up to the office. Danny DeVito's sitting in the office going, wow, this is a great day. I got called in from a great talent agent. And the talent agent said to him, Danny DeVito, I want you to quit acting. Now, this is before Danny DeVito became a big star. This is before Danny DeVito became anything. And Danny DeVito is just sitting there going, what? I mean, Danny DeVito, here he was doing this great community theater play off Broadway, got called in by one of the great agencies of New York, and the guy sits him down and tells him to quit acting. He said, I called you in here today to tell you that you need to quit acting. And Danny DeVito said, well, he was speechless nearly. And he told him, he said, I want you to quit acting. And Danny DeVito goes, well, why? Why? Why would you want me to quit acting? And the talent agent says, you're wonderful in the play. I love the play. I went there and I thought this guy is great. But he's too short. He's got no hair. He's balding. He's kind of dumpy, kind of a little, overweight. And a little grumpy at times, which isn't always pleasant, And it's just not going to work, Danny DeVito. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You'll never make it as an actor. And Danny DeVito left that day very, very upset. He was very upset. Now, there was an audition that came through New York that was called Taxi, a little television show. And they didn't know how they were going to cast this one little character, but they needed the character to be short. They needed him to be balding. They needed him to be a little bit overweight, and they needed him to be very grumpy. Have you ever seen that movie, The Road Warrior? Wherever they are, they have the number P on it. I'm sorry, I put the letter P. The letter P. The letter. So we're probably analyzing the letter P. Well, what I meant by that is the motorcyclist that drove by, it was a motorcycle gang. The motorcycle gang that drove by had the letter P on the back of their leather jacket, or on their leather jacket, on their back, between their shoulder blades, was the letter P. That's all I was trying to say. That guy way back there is rich. He is a rich man. He just got ran off the road by a diesel truck. Do you know what that means? Jim Adler, the Hammer, baby. The Hammer. Yes, because that company is responsible for you when they run you off the road. That guy back there was run off the road. That's amazing. So the talent agent told Danny DeVito to get out of show business. He said, you'll never work in show business. You're too short. You're dumpy. You don't have any hair. And then he shows up at Taxi Driver audition. Oh, I messed it up. Oh, no. Taxi. He shows up at the Taxi audition. He might have showed up at Taxi Driver too. But he showed up at Taxi. Is that a real squirrel? Oh my God. And then he got the part because he looked like a squirrel. The squirrel's just going to town. I think he's okay with me being in the car, and he'll just continue with this right here, because I'm in the car, and he knows that I'd have to get out of the car, take my he knows that he's being filmed right now. I don't have to sign any contracts or anything. It'd be funny if the squirrel's sitting in the courtroom. Like, I did not give you permission to film me eat that day. Too bad. I have your image, squirrel. He's looking for more nuts right there. You can hear the nuts cracking. It's so funny. I'm actually writing about squirrels right now. I love how they twirl the nut around and then just kind of chomp on it. If I had a telescopic lens, I could probably get all the crunching right there. Hollywood, they have these telescopic lenses that are like $3,000 or even more, sometimes $10,000 lenses. Look at that thing right there. That squirrel is absolutely amazing. That's very funny. Goodbye, squirrel. Bye-bye, squirrel. You have a good day. Can you hear me okay? I have a story. Turn the television off for copyright, or at least pause it. Or not pause it, but hit the volume, the mute button on the side for copyright purposes. Don't get all copyright. I got a story to tell you. Okay, so I go to Boomer Jack's. And the guy looks at me and says, "Oh, well, somebody already came by and picked up the order." So I'm sitting there at Boomer Jack's.
That's a burger place.
Yeah, it's like a burger place, like a burger joint. It's like a food place, you know, where you pick up food. So I tell the guy, I say, "Well, who picked it up?" Because I can show him the app, and I'm showing him the app. You know, my name's on it, the customer's name and everything. Everything is... Somebody came and picked it up. So I call the customer, you know, from the store, from Boomer Jack's. I'm on the phone, the customer, her name was Charisma. The lady's name that ordered it. She's like, "No, nobody's brought the food." So I get some more information. I go up to the front where the host is and I say, "Where's the order?" "Well, somebody picked it up." Well, the lady tells me, Charisma tells me on the phone, I didn't get the whole conversation, but she tells me it was, that she ordered it like, or no, they tell me, that's right. The host people, you know, the host, they tell me that it was ordered at 1 o'clock, that the order went through at 1 o'clock. So I call it was like almost 3 or 4 o'clock, like 2 hours later or something. And I'm just not getting it on my phone, you know, on the app. So I call the lady and I say, "Well, did you receive the order? Did you receive the food?" And she says, "No." I think I know what's going on. This is my theory. So the lady, the customer, Charisma, she's taking either a screenshot on her end, on the Uber Eats Postmate app kind of thing, right? Whatever it was. I guess it was, let's just say it was Postmates, okay? She's taking a screenshot of it and sending it to like a friend or something. Then that friend's going in and showing that screenshot, that it shows her name and the restaurant, and that he wants to pick up the food. So they're skimming. So I get mad at the manager because I think the manager probably knows, or somebody knows. And the manager goes and gets the owner. And the owner comes up to me and starts telling me, "Well, we're not going to make the order." I say, "Well, I already called the customer. I had the customer on speakerphone. So they haven't even received it. You need to make the order. Someone came in and stole it. Someone stole the order." The manager goes, "Well, so what? What do you want me to do about it?" Blah, blah, blah. So since he's allowing it to happen and I had to drive way over there, I called him a thief because he's taking up my time. So I said, "You're a thief, for taking my time. Because my time costs money."
Yeah, sure.
And he's going, "Oh, no, get out, never come back, And I shouldn't have done that. I mean, obviously it was a hacker. It was stolen. But it wasn't his fault. But I called him a thief because I wanted to call somebody a thief. He got mad and told me to, get lost.